Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's webinar on the new No Money Down e-commerce strategy. I'm Kay, you might recognise me.
I'm Sean.
So this is my husband and business partner, and I'm going to be inviting Sean a little bit later on just to discuss a little bit about what we've been up to in the past couple of weeks, and then he's going to join me for a Q&A at the end as well. You have to bear with me, I'm a little bit excitable, not like Joe Wicks jumping off the walls excitable if you've been following along with PE with Joe. And obviously this is the first webinar I've done, and it's the first time we're ever sort of sharing this strategy with anyone. So if you want to show some support and leave me some love in the comments box if you're finding this valuable, that'd be much appreciated. So we're scheduled to finish at 9 p.m. So we'll have a little Q&A afterwards. And if you stay till 9 p.m, I'm going to do, for those of you that do stay, I'm going to do something special for you guys. So what I'm going to be talking to you about tonight is a new way of selling on Amazon. And I don't know, well, I know one other person who's using this strategy, nobody else. And I certainly don't know of any training courses out there on this strategy, anything like that. It's a great way of getting into e-commerce if you've not got enough capital, because it's obviously no money down, and it doesn't involve any outside investors either. So it's how to partner with brands and sell on Amazon for them. And I'm going to walk you through a 4-step process. So let's get started. So it's been dubbed the e-commerce gold rush by people in the industry. There hasn't been an e-commerce boom like this since about 5 years ago. With the event of coronavirus and high street stores forced to close and people staying inside, e-commerce trade has gone through the roof. People are struggling to get essentials and they're turning to the internet, but not just that, the sales of non-essential items have gone up too, even those that are not related to the pandemic at all, as I'll show you a little later on. But online sales have never been so high, and people who have never shopped online are learning how. And once they get used to it and they get used to the convenience, they'll be doing it more and more. So this trend is going to continue long after the coronavirus disappears. There's never been a better time to get in. So people have got more time on their hands right now during lockdown. So why not put that time to good use and capitalize on this gold rush and let something good come out of these horrible times? People are worried about their livelihoods right now, and other brick and mortar stores are suffering. So this is one way to ensure your financial survival. So we're actually thriving right now during these times. E-commerce is one of the very few businesses that is. Business actually couldn't be better for e-commerces at the moment. It's horrible to say that really, but all the key elements have just come together at the same time. And as you'll see as we go through this training, there really has never been an easier time to implement this particular business model. So surely you're bored of sitting at home, doing nothing, and now's the time to start something of your own. Start the online business you've always dreamed of and use this time wisely and productively. And if you're not going to do this now, when are you? The opportunity and the motivation are never going to be as big as they are right now. And we all know the easiest person you can lie to is yourself. So if you're not going to do this now, when are you? The opportunity will never happen again when the conditions to start are so perfectly right. But I can tell you one thing about us and about the whole team at Progressive, and is that we are here for you. We're here to offer support and guidance to help you on your path to financial freedom. You're going to need our help and guidance. This isn't something you can just take a stab at. You will make mistakes, but we are here to show you all of the tools that can help you to turn this into a successful long-term business that you can scale and scale. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It does require a bit of effort, and I'm not really interested in working with anyone who thinks they can just push a button and become a millionaire. It is a proper business, but it is a get-rich-pretty-quick scheme, to quote Rob Moore, and it doesn't require that much effort either. And the beauty of this is that you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. You can do it sat in your pajamas if you want to. You can do it from anywhere in the world once we're finally released from lockdown. And all you need is a laptop and an internet connection. But I'm so excited to reveal for the first time this strategy that we've developed, and it's been 4 years in the making. We've made a ton of mistakes along the way, we've refined, we've streamlined, and it's finally ready, and you guys are going to be the first to uncover the secrets of selling on Amazon without putting any money into it. There have been so many changes in the e-commerce world in the past few weeks, but the potential is absolutely massive for anybody who's quick enough to jump in on it. So my promise to you then, so tonight, you will see just how big this opportunity is. and how quickly you can build this business with the right support. You'll know exactly what to do and the steps needed to get started straight away. You'll discover multiple ways to make money on Amazon, how you can build a high cash flowing business in your spare time, and the 4 simple steps to it all. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. One of the most famous motivational speakers of our time. You've already shown that you're action takers by watching this webinar, but the real action is in the doing and the implementing and putting all of your training into practice. Using this knowledge and our guidance and support to set something up so that these uncertain times are no longer uncertain. So some of you might sit on this opportunity, but others will jump on it and they'll come out of this lockdown changed people. So it's no secret that the high street has been in decline for years now, as more and more brick and mortar stores close their doors for the final time, but the coronavirus has just put its foot on the accelerator. So we're used to seeing stores closing now anyway. You only have to walk down your local high street, you can see empty units, closing down sales. A lot of big companies have gone bust over recent years due to a boom in online sales, and not just physical products, but services as well. So if you take Blockbusters, for example, they went bust because people were streaming movies online, and the likes of Netflix and now TV and Amazon Fire have taken over, and even cinemas have taken a hit in recent years because of that. The post office has started closing shops because fewer people are sending mail, and email has taken over as a primary method of communication between businesses and from businesses to its client base as well. Thomas Cook went bust last year due to more and more people shopping for holidays online. So this is something that we're used to seeing anyway, but as more and more people get used to shopping online now, the landscape is changing. So even stores that carry physical products are suffering. There have been store closures from Toys R Us, Debenhams, House of Fraser, Early Learning Centre, but the situation has just gotten even worse. So with the event of COVID-19 and the forced closure of any shops selling non-essential items, unless they've got an online presence, they're going to struggle massively during this period. It was already set to be a record year for store closures, and that was topping last year, which was also a record-breaking year for store closures. So the situation was getting worse and worse anyway, and then now this. And this is happening worldwide as well. So in the US, some big-name stores are closing down. You've got Gap, Forever 21, Walgreens, Macy's are closing 2 of its stores, Sears, Kmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, JCPenney, and even Walmart. Retailers that have gone into administration over here in just this year: Mothercare, Clinton's, obviously because of online card companies like Moonpig, Coast, Karen Millen, Jack Wills, Bath Store, Cath Kidston, and that's just a few. So obviously the high streets are empty right now, but inevitably this is going to be a continuing trend. Retailers know that the high street is on a downward spiral, so some have been resistant to the change and they're really struggling now with recent events. But for a while now, brick and mortar retailers have been making the shift to online. And obviously now more than ever, they're desperate to get online if they're not already online, or they're desperate to do better if they've not previously been paying enough attention. So it's been easy for us to find brands to work with in the past few years, but now we're actually turning them away. So we've been approached by quite a few brands since the start of this pandemic, and in the last 2 weeks, we've agreed to take on 2, possibly 3 brands to get them online. In particular, they want to start selling on Amazon, but they've absolutely no idea where to start. Boots announced last week the closure of 60 stores. So Philip Green's whole Empire Arcadia is in trouble, with Topshop and Dorothy Perkins about to announce store closures. So it is an unfortunate situation, but the high street, I'm afraid, is dying. One of the brands that we work with, they normally sell to Asda, Tesco, John Lewis, but TK Maxx are actually their biggest customer, and TK Maxx can't take the stock that they've ordered from them. So the brand we work with, their business was actually at risk. So they're heavily relying on us now to get them through these times. And they say to us all the time just how grateful they are and how thankful they are that they partnered with us. But one company that's not dying is Amazon. So Amazon are struggling to keep up with their own demand at the moment. So they employed 100,000 new members of staff a few weeks ago to keep the supply chain moving. And then just this week, Forbes have announced that they're hiring another 75,000 people. There aren't many businesses that are expanding during these times. 175,000 people is a massive amount of people, and it shows a massive amount of growth in a short period of time. Say what you want about Amazon, but they know how to move fast. So what are you going to do? Are you going to move fast? Are you going to prosper in these times like other online sellers are? Or are you going to sit on your hands and whinge and complain like your average Facebooker? or are you going to do something positive? Because I know what I'm going to do, what we've already done. We've pivoted, we've moved our business forward, we're growing and expanding just like Amazon are. So I'm going to show you some of my sales now. So this was taken a few days after we went into lockdown. We did over 8,000 sales in one day, over £8,000, should I say. And I actually did absolutely no work at all that day because I was homeschooling the kids. So I'm not going to lie to you and say this is a normal day for us, because it isn't. If you look at the same day last year, we did just over 1,000. I mean, my business has grown massively in the last 12 months anyway, so this year's sales would have been bigger than last year's, but not that much bigger. That's a massive uplift in sales, and this is happening right across the board with Amazon sellers. We actually went through 3 months worth of stock in just 1 month. So this is the e-commerce gold rush. The current climate, coupled with the appetite for buying online, making now the perfect time to build an Amazon business, mainly because we can't get to the shop, so we haven't really got a choice. But even Boris Johnson, even the Prime Minister, is telling people, buy online, buy online. So before we go on, I'm going to just invite Sean to talk to you a little bit about, this is completely different. It's not actually what we're here to talk to you about tonight. But I do think it's important to mention, especially if you'd seen the post up on the Facebook group last night, you'll be interested in this. So Sean's just going to talk you through what we've done over the past couple of weeks.
So we've had an extremely exciting 2 weeks. We've launched a side venture. We call it a side venture, but it's quite a big one. But it starts a year ago when I was walking around an exhibition and I met a person who owned a manufacturing company. And we got talking, and I told him what we did on Amazon, and he was quite happy with what he does, selling to brick and mortar stores. He was interested to hear what we did, but we just left it there. But then I received a phone call 2 weeks ago. So only 2 weeks ago, he called me and he said his business was on its knees. He couldn't supply his products to his customers because the retailers were closed. And unfortunately, he manufactures perishable products. So he was going to close his doors. The banks were knocking on his doors, also asking for money. But he wanted to do something. So he gave me a call, and straight away we decided to help him. So we set up a new brand on Amazon, and we listed 60 products within a week. So we went live on the Sunday after the phone call on the Sunday before. But unfortunately, we got suspended straight away. So we got suspended for 3 days until we realised that we put COVID-19 in one of the descriptions on the Amazon listings. That's what suspended us. So we took it out, and we got selling again, and we really got selling. So 7 days after the launch, or 4 days after we got got the suspension lifted, we sold £11,000 worth of products, so nearly 300 products in one day, one Sunday. Sundays are always good online, but it was a fantastic side project that we started. The guy who owns the business, he was eternally grateful because we basically saved his business. He's going to carry on doing online to spread his risk, and we're actually going to list more products for him as well. But not only that, we spoke to a couple of other brands that do similar products, a couple of other manufacturers, and we're going to start with them under the same brand. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to start with 2 more manufacturers doing the same thing and list over 100 more products.
Okay, so just to have a bit of a recap on that. So we launched less than 2 weeks ago. From having the idea, we launched within a week. Within the first 12 hours of listing one product, we'd made over £500 in sales. In our first day of selling, we sold 39 units, and we didn't spend a single penny on stock. So it was of absolutely no risk to us, and we created a fully automated system. And this is why I said it's not what I'm talking to you about tonight. It's a different model again. So this is what we call drop shipping. So for those of you who don't know what drop shipping is, the customer would see the product listed on Amazon and they would place their order with Amazon. Amazon then they sort of notify you that an order has been placed, and then you then notify the manufacturer, and the manufacturer then sends the product directly to the customer. Now, you don't actually pay the manufacturer for that product until a customer has ordered, so you're not actually outlaying any money for stock. So that's what we call the drop shipping model. And this is what Sean was just saying about doing over 11,000 in one day. This was the day. And if you look at the bottom where it says same date range 1 year ago, that's obviously on 0, just to prove to you that we weren't doing this a year ago. It's an absolutely brand new brand. So I've put together a short course on exactly how we achieved this, a step-by-step guide to setting up an automated, profitable drop shipping business. And I've also included how to use wholesaling as a method to sell on Amazon too. How you can find the hottest selling profitable products and how to win exclusivity deals on those products so that you're the only seller on Amazon. And I'll include our real life case study. So this obviously isn't available for sale tonight, but if you are interested in this course, put your name, number and email in the comments now, and the team will get back to you about that with some details. However, wholesale and drop shipping isn't what I'm here to talk to you about tonight. So tonight we're focusing on finding brands to work with, managing their Amazon accounts and taking a commission on the sales made. So why Amazon in particular? Why not eBay or some other online platform? It's because Amazon is growing. They're leading in the retail space right now, and their growth continues year on year. They're dominating everything online. They've got loads of brands, Kindle for books, music streaming now, so they're rivaling sort of iTunes and Spotify. There's Fire TV, they've even got their own studios now. There's Amazon Fresh, you might have heard of it if you're in certain parts of the country, you can get your groceries delivered. There's Amazon Web Services, which is like a storage facility. It's where, in America, actually, all of the FBI have their files on there. And they've got logistics. You've probably seen Prime trucks on the motorway. And they've even got their own fleet of planes and an airport in Kentucky. So they do have 40 planes. I think they're up to 100 now. And they've got this Amazon hub, they call it, this airport in Kentucky. So this, I mean, who here is a Prime member? If you're a Prime member, put a yes in the comments box for me now. I'm expecting to see a lot of yeses coming through. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, this is probably one of the best moves Amazon's ever made. So it means that if you pay a yearly subscription, you get access to 2-day shipping, which has moved to 1-day shipping in some areas. In some cities, you can get what they call Prime Now, where you can get delivery within an hour. And I have heard of people receiving packages within 15 minutes. And Prime members on average spend 2.5 times more than non-Prime members, which is understandable. So that means, you know, you've paid for your subscription, you can enjoy free delivery, and it means you'll go straight to Amazon over anybody else. And that is why Prime members spend more. And can you imagine the number of Prime members over this period while we're in lockdown? It'll be absolutely through the roof. So there were already 150 million Prime members. So it jumped up 50 million in a year, but that number has probably during this lockdown just skyrocketed. And this is Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos. You should know his name because he's the world's richest man, according to the Forbes annual rich list. So Forbes released this rich list every year around April time. So this was released just 2 weeks ago with a net worth of 113 billion. And he has topped that rich list for the past 3 years. Now, $1 billion is quite hard to imagine. So think of this analogy. It would take 12 days to count 1 million seconds, but 1 billion seconds would take you almost 32 years. So that's the difference between a million and a billion. And that 113 billion that he's got at the moment, that's after giving his ex-wife a few billion as well in the divorce settlement. So I think you'll agree that he's doing something right, and brands need to take note. They need to make Jeff Bezos their business partner. So this is just to show you the growth of their market share. Their turnover in 2019, so just last year, it was $280 billion. They're growing year on year. They almost double every 3 years. But this year, obviously, it's going to be accelerated. So before all of this, Amazon were predicted to reach $560 billion by the year 2022. That was before coronavirus, before lockdown, before the surge in online retail being forced upon us, and before the Prime Minister recommended that we all shop online. So it's obviously going to be a lot more than that. Now, This graph is from July 2018, so it's a little bit outdated now actually, but it shows Amazon's market share. So this is for the US. So of all online sales in the US, almost 50% went to Amazon. This was July 2018. It's actually crept up now, so I think it's 52 point something percent. And the next biggest competitor is eBay at 6.6%, Apple at 3.9%, and Walmart 3.7%. So Amazon's market share is bigger than the next three biggest competitors put together. And the crazy thing is that of all global retail, so that's not just online, but brick and mortar sales as well, of all sales, global sales, online only makes up 14%. That's 14% of all sales made in the world that are online. So there's still 86% to go. And you do need to be paying attention to these stats because I'll be quizzing you later. I'm only kidding. But you do need to know them because you are going to be using these to show brands why they need to be on Amazon. And would you believe that more than half of all sales on Amazon come from third-party sellers? That means people like you and me. So they're not Amazon's products and they're not being sold by Amazon. They are being sold from people like you and me. So when you think about it, Amazon don't actually have a lot of their own products. So they actually need other brands to sell on their platform. They love it when we sell on Amazon because it generates revenue for them because third-party sellers like us pay Amazon to use their platform. That's how they make their money, so they love it. Now, when we first started, there weren't the tools that we have available to us today, so big chunks of the puzzle were missing and everything was quite manual. Nowadays, there are tools that show us exactly how many sales a particular product is making or what revenue it's generating. We can see if a product's a good seller, and we can automate everything. We can automate sending follow-up emails. We can analyze everything, and we can see if a product is going to sell before we make a move on it. And that is why this is just so easy nowadays. You guys are lucky we're getting into this now, having all these tools available to you. So how do we make money on Amazon? There are 4 different ways. There's private label, you may already have heard of. So that's when you would create your own branded products. You have them manufactured overseas, you get your own sort of logo slapped on them, they get delivered over here, and then you sell them on Amazon for a profit and make money. So that's your own brand that you create. Then there's arbitrage, which is when you would go to Tesco down the road and you would find a product on sale in the clearance section, maybe something that, you know, just a bargain that you pick up, and you could ship that into Amazon and sell that at a higher price, and then you pocket the difference. So it's really, really simple to do arbitrage, really good model. Then there's wholesaling. It's slightly different to arbitrage in that you're not going buying products from Tesco or other retailers like that, but rather you're buying them from wholesalers and you purchase them at a trade price and you purchase them in bulk, and then you would sell them online at a higher price and pocket the difference again. And then drop shipping, we've already briefly discussed. This is when you would advertise products for sale on Amazon, but you don't actually own the stock. Once an order is received, you would then have the manufacturer send that directly to the customer. What we do is actually completely different to all of these models, and I don't know of anyone else using this method, well, that one person I mentioned, and there are certainly no courses out there that teach this method. So what are the benefits of using the model that we use? Firstly, no money needed. We don't spend a single penny on stock. Infinite profit. All the money you make is profit because you've not invested anything. So you couldn't even put a figure on your return on investment because there was no investment in the first place. Guaranteed profit. So with private label or arbitrage, although it's low risk and it is calculated risk, there is still a slight element of risk. So you do your research, you find a product and start to have it manufactured. While you're waiting on it being manufactured and having it shipped over, the market could move on. You might end up spending a little bit more on marketing than you initially thought. You might not quite make the margins you predicted. And actually, when, not everybody does this, but when I'm doing private label, I don't even aim to make a profit on my first batch. I just really hammer the marketing. And I'll tell you a funny story actually about my first private label product. It went brilliantly. I did everything by the book. It worked the way they said it would. And on that one, we did actually make a profit on our first batch. But then I found out that the product had a patent on it. and the patent owner was taking people to court. So we dropped our price drastically. We sold out as soon as we could get out before we got caught, and we ended up losing a little bit of money there. So yeah, always check your patents, but there is a tiny element of risk there. But with this model that I'm going to show you today, there is no risk whatsoever because you're not putting any money in. And if there are no sales, you don't get a commission, that's fair enough, but you've not lost anything, maybe just a little bit of your time. So it's zero risk, as I just said. No overheads. There are no staff to pay, no lease, no business rate, and no stock. You can amass a huge portfolio. So with private label, going at full throttle, you would be lucky if you got about 6 products live within a year, but with our method, you could have 100 products in a week. It's easily scalable. You can rapidly expand this business. With one email, you could gain another huge portfolio and another and another. It's absolutely limitless. It's passive. So my husband does the majority of work on our largest account, and he has a full-time job as well. So he just does like an hour in the evening, sometimes not all. You take the night off, don't you, sometimes?
When I can, yeah.
I do a little bit of work on the smaller accounts that I manage. They are a lot smaller, so they don't take up a lot of time at all. So we both have a lot of spare time. I'm able to take the boys to school in the morning, pick them up from school afterwards. No need for breakfast clubs or after school clubs. And during this lockdown, I've been able to homeschool them and spend loads of time with them and not have to worry about the business suffering. And because it's online, I can do this work whenever I want. So I can do it in the evening when they're in bed. I could run it at 3 in the morning if I felt like it. And you can work from anywhere. So Sean, as I say, has a full-time job, but he does work from home. So because we both work from home, we can do this from anywhere. So before coronavirus all kicked off, we were due to spend a full 6 weeks. We were going to spend 6 weeks holidays at a villa in France. That's something that I just would not have been able to do in my previous job. I used to work for the NHS. Probably wouldn't have even been able to get the holidays. And you can start selling within a week. So I guess this is sort of a comparison with some of the other e-commerce models in that you're not waiting on manufacturing times and long shipping times. The goods are readily available now, and you can reap the rewards immediately. So you're basically going to get paid every 2 weeks. And if you get cracking on this, you could be selling within a few weeks and enjoy the benefits straight away. There's no product handling, no need to check stock, no need to store stock, ship stock out. You never have to see or touch the products. And this is just a cheeky little bonus. It's because you're working with brands, they often like to send you samples and you can get to keep them as well. So other benefits, you don't need to find a product that works. So the biggest sticking point in private label when you're creating your own brand is finding the right product to get you started. And people get what we call analysis paralysis. So that's when they just cannot decide on a product to sell. I'm not dissing private label at all, by the way. I obviously teach private label still for in the other ecom course. I strongly believe in it. I still have some private label products of my own. Done right, private label can be as lucrative with a handful of products as this can with a few hundred. I just find this easy because the aim with private label is to try and find one product that's going to make at least 10 sales a day. But for me, it's easier to sell 1 of 10 different products than it is to sell 10 of one. And then you're not focused then just on one product. I hope that makes sense. It's easier to sell 1 of 10 different products than it is to sell 10 of one. Okay, so the next sticking point for people in private label is finding someone to manufacture the product that they have in mind. So this often involves speaking to China or other overseas manufacturers or trading companies. This, for me, was the bit that used to scare me the most. I mean, once you've done it, you realise it's not scary at all. But if you've never done it, speaking to China can sort of feel quite daunting. So you get to actually skip this step with the model that I'm going to show you. As I said earlier, there's no waiting times for products to be made or shipped. And you don't have to have inspections carried out because quality control checks should have already been, well, they will have already been carried out by the brand. And you don't need to organise overseas shipping or deal with customs and things like that because you're not the one responsible for shipping the products. You don't have to deal with freight forwarders, do any paperwork, customs and duty, none of the stuff that can sound scary if you're completely new to it. And private label sellers eventually will need to become VAT registered in different countries. with this model, it's not something that you have to worry about, because it's the brand's products you're selling, and you're doing it as if you were them, as if you were the brand. It's actually them that need to register for that. So that's a process that one of our brands that we work with has just gone through, and it's something that we don't have to do. So who wants this into this, guys? This really is a land grab. There is no better time, and those who act fast and learn this quickly will go on to make a lot of money. So who am I? Some of you might know me already because I teach e-commerce already for Progressive. So I started selling on Amazon in 2016 using the private label model, and I generated £26,000 in sales in the first month. Now I'm a partner on 6 different seller accounts. I've successfully launched more than 700 products over the past 4 years. Our largest account generates over £1 million in sales per year. I've trained dozens of others in the private label and arbitrage space, and I'm a mentor for e-commerce business owners too. And I'm not from an online selling background. Before this, I had never sold online, and I'm not from a marketing background either. So I had quite a modest upbringing. My mum worked for the local council. My dad was an electrician. We'd go on a nice holiday every year to Spain or Greece for a couple of weeks, and we lived in quite a nice house. We were just a normal family, but I was the baby of the family. So I have an older brother and sister, and they're quite a bit older than me. So they're 8 and 11 years older than me. So I really was the baby of the family. And while I wasn't exactly spoiled, I never really had to work for anything like my older siblings did. I was never taught the value of money. I was never taught to stand on my own 2 feet. My brother and sister didn't go to university. They went out and got a job and left home before they were even 20, and they were providing for themselves. So I went off to university basically because it was expected of me. I was told that to get what I wanted, that I would have to get some decent qualifications and get a good job. And I didn't know of any other way of achieving this. I was never taught how to go out and get it. So off I went to university. So I was the first one out of our family to go to uni, and I didn't think too far ahead. So I didn't particularly choose anything vocational. I graduated in 2005, but my degree was, let's say, a little bit vague, didn't exactly lend itself to anything. So I couldn't get a job at the level that graduates usually start at. So I ended up doing temp work in an NHS office, and I was earning 12 grand a year. So obviously I quickly got fed up with this, not having as much money as my friends, not being able to keep up with them. So I did what everyone else does, and I decided that I needed a better job. So I went back to university, and I thought, I'll do something vocational this time. I want a job at the end of it. So I studied audiology, and I became an audiologist for the NHS. So audiology, for those of you who don't know what it is testing people's hearing and fitting hearing aids. It took 2 more years of study and a lot more expenses, and I came out with a job in the NHS that paid me 21 grand a year, and that's before tax. So after 5 years of studying and paying out thousands in tuition fees and accommodation and racking up debt with a student loan, I came out with a wage that was below the national average. I got the yearly incremental sort of increases, so my wage rose to 28,000 a year, and then it was capped, so there was no scope to increase it further. And because my chosen field was fairly competitive, there was no scope for promotion either, unless someone retired. So the only hope that I had of increasing my income, I thought, was to get a second job. But then it got worse. So after I returned from maternity leave, after the birth of our first baby, I went back part-time, and so my wage dropped to 16,000 a year. Then I had our second child and returned to work, still on that £16,000 a year wage. After paying for their nursery fees, for the time that I was in work, I came out with £100 a month. So I was practically working for free just to keep my job open, and we were surviving on one wage. I had constant money worries, and it'd keep me awake at night. And because I couldn't go out and get a second job, the only way I could think of sort of saving us or making more money rather was to limit our output. So I thought, what can we actually cut back on? So that's what was going through my mind, because I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know there was another way. So we had the idea of opening up our own play centre. So Sean had been a co-owner of a play centre with his family. He'd quite literally helped to build it from the ground up, and his family seemed to be doing quite well with it. And one had become available for sale in our local town. And we got so close to signing a deal, but we hesitated because when we ran the figures, after acquiring the business itself, paying rent, business rates, corporation tax, staff, stock, new play equipment, we worked out that we'd make just £3,000 a year. And that was without me even taking a wage from it. So, and that was a conservative estimate, but we just weren't prepared to take the risk, and not mentioning the amount of time that we'd end up spending there and working weekends. So although we were excited in the beginning, thinking this is it, this is our chance, we'll never get this opportunity again, we had to put our foot on the brake. And I'm so glad we did, looking back, because as a comparison to the business model we have now, well, there is no comparison. We were just thinking too small. Now, I don't believe in fate, but if I did, that was the universe's plan for me. The very next week, a friend came to me with an opportunity that literally changed my life. So a friend contacted me to say that he'd heard of this course that was being taught at a training company in Peterborough, and he really wanted to do it, but he didn't have the time because he'd just set up a new property business that was taking off. So he was going to send his wife, who happened to be my best friend, and she didn't want to go on her own, so she asked me if I wanted to come as well. So at first I was like, why do you need a course to sell on Amazon? How hard can it be? But I relented and went down to Peterborough for the course, and the course was in private label. So following on from that course, I set up my own private label business, which started off with roaring success until I hit that patent issue and had to sell off my stock. But the basics were there, and I knew what to do and how to make a success of it. And I knew how to launch a product. So I went on to have moderate success with my private label brand. But then one day, while we were at a trade show looking for new product ideas, we saw a massive opportunity. So we got talking to this guy on a stand for a brand of kitchen products. And while we were chatting, we discovered that there's a really niche market here. There's loads of brands who want to get onto Amazon, but they have no idea what they're doing. And they don't realise that it's actually a highly skilled profession. And to gain any traction and be successful, you really need to know what you're doing. So a lot of them start to sell on Amazon and it's a massive failure, and they can't understand where they went wrong because they don't have the knowledge and they don't have the education, nor do they have the time or the resources to train someone up. And that's where we came in. So we decided that we'd do a trial run for them managing their account and their Amazon sales. So there were a few bumps in the road and we did make mistakes, but we ironed them out, and it kind of evolved and developed over a few years. And honestly, if we went into it now, knowing what we know now and all the learnings of the past 4 years, we would definitely have scaled this much faster and have made a success of it sooner. Our aim now is to double our profits year on year, and we would have reached the figures that we're on now a couple of years ago if we'd have known better what we were doing and when we first started this strategy. So we have found quite a few manufacturers this way. Right in the beginning, we took on a lot of accounts and did a lot of work. Some didn't end up paying us, then others we took on accounts and did a lot of work, but it wasn't worth all the work because it didn't bring enough money. And we just didn't know what we were doing in the beginning when we started taking on these accounts. We were just sort of pleased to have someone that wanted to work with us because there was no one for us to learn from. So obviously learning from someone who has done this before is key to being successful in any field. So nowadays we're laser focused on specific types of brands, and we know exactly how to find them and the criteria that they have to meet to make it worthwhile for us. So we only take on brands now that we know are going to make big money, and there are tools available to us now to help us make those decisions that weren't available when we first started. So now it's easier than ever. So I was able to quit my job within 6 months because it just didn't make sense for me to do it anymore. And when I was making so much more money doing this. Knowledge is power, knowledge is profit. So now that I've shown you the Amazon opportunity, it's up to you guys to spend this time wisely. This could be huge for you. No one is born with these skills. You can do anything if you're prepared to learn to do what it takes. So nowadays, I'm financially free through e-commerce. I don't rely on a regular paycheck from anywhere else, and it enables me to live the life that I want to live, and it's growing year on year. I've done 3 million pounds worth of sales on Amazon to date, the mass majority of that with no investment. I'm currently turning over 7 figures on Amazon because I know how to get the sales and how to get ahead of the competition. And in fact, right now, there are days when we are making £3,000 profit in one day. and it enables me to live the life that I want. I often get asked why I'm doing this, why am I teaching other people this business, and I'm not creating my own competition. But as we've already discussed, Amazon is still in its relative infancy here in the UK, and the scope for growth is massive, and the amount of brands available out there to work with is endless. So no, I'm not worried about that. So why do I do it? I like to keep part of the seller community, to keep abreast of any changes in Amazon, because Amazon does change so quickly and frequently. So it's important to keep a part of the community and learn first of these changes. I do it to keep on top of my game. By teaching others, it helps me to increase my own knowledge, because obviously if I'm going to teach others, I need to know my stuff. And so this helps me in my own business as well. Ultimately, it's for completely selfish reasons. So by teaching people, I come into contact with people that I want to collaborate with or that want to collaborate with me, and we end up working together. In fact, there's 2 people that I've trained up within the last 6 months that I've started working with. And by doing joint ventures with people, it's mutually beneficial, because they benefit from my guidance and experience, and obviously getting more sales. And obviously I make money as well from the work that they're carrying out, so everybody wins. But also it's to empower you to achieve your goals and live the life that you always wanted and deserved. And honestly, I feel honoured to have played a part in that. So we go on a nice holiday every year. I mean, travelling the world isn't high on my list of priorities right now, because our children are quite young, but it is something that we will want to do as they get a little bit older. And I love the fact that we will be able to afford to do that, to give them such a good start in life and show them the world. And like I said before, this year, if it hadn't have been for COVID-19, we were going to hire a villa in France for the entire 6 weeks holidays, because we can work from anywhere and still run our business. And over the last 12 months, we've made enough money to pay outright for a new extension. These are the plans for it. I would like to have shown you the real thing. It was supposed to be being built this month, but obviously the universe had other plans. But we would never have been able to achieve this if I was still working for the NHS. We probably would have had to remortgage, or we might have not been able to have it done at all. Now, our friends that I told you about who introduced us to the Amazon opportunity and to Progressive, unfortunately, Phil died from cancer in August last year, and I owe all of this to him, and I told him that just before he died. I was able to go and spend time with him in his final days because I didn't have to work and I wasn't tied to a desk, and it's the important things like this. These are the things that really matter, and I've been there to support my friend as well through these difficult times just because I can. Now, Phil's nickname was 100-mile-an-hour Phil. He really did live life to the full, and that's the legacy that he leaves behind, because he had such a great work ethic and he's built a business for his family. So we were handed out a card at his funeral, and that had a few pieces of advice on it. Live life by design and challenge your impossible. Life is too short and we don't know what's around the corner, so take the opportunities that are handed to you. Now, we live nice lives, we go on holidays, we have our gadgets, but most importantly, we do it for these guys. So who's important in your life? Is there going to come a stage where you regret not spending enough time with those that you love? And wouldn't you love to spend as much time as you can with them? And you're probably feeling this more than ever right now with what's going on and being separated from loved ones. Now, if I was still working for the NHS, I wouldn't be able to justify working part-time now. I'd be back working full-time. And I wouldn't be finishing till 5 or 6 each day. I'd be getting home for 6:30. And the boys go to bed at 7, so that would mean that I would miss their childhood. So nowadays, I can do the school run in the morning without having to rush to be anywhere. I don't have to pay for childcare after school. I can collect them myself and spend time with them, help them with the homework, prepare dinners. So you've got to think what's important to you. And it's Amazon that has made all of this possible, and it's opened up a whole new world for me. There are 195 countries in the world. How many countries do you reckon have Amazon operating? It's actually just 18. And the 18th only came online in January, and that was the Netherlands. Australia only got Amazon in 2017. I just think that's crazy that they only just got it 3 years ago. So even though Amazon are thought to be well established, they've still got a way to go. The USA is well established and competition is steeper over there, but here in the UK, it's where the US was probably about 6 years ago. Plus, with a UK account, you get instant access to all of the other European marketplaces too from that one account. It's literally just a tick in a box. So people often ask, I got it asked tonight actually on the Facebook group, if there are still opportunities out there. But I'm going to show you it really doesn't matter for this business model. You're not looking for that one superstar product that everyone else is always also looking for. There are also only half the number of sellers in the UK compared with the US, even though Europe has a greater population. And Amazon just keep on opening up European marketplaces. There are rumours of Amazon Sweden, Austria, Switzerland. You could be the first on those marketplaces with an instant collection of products to offer. So essentially what we're doing is finding a brand, we're taking over the running of their seller account, and we're taking a cut of the sales. So how do we get started? So this is where we implement the 4-step system. I called it team because that's what we're doing. We're teaming up with a brand on Amazon. So the 4-step process works like this. T is for teaming up with a brand. So this involves finding a brand to work with, qualifying them because it doesn't work for every company, contacting them and selling the concept to them. E is for enhancing their offer. So this is about improving their sales by an Amazon makeover. So most brands have absolutely no idea how Amazon works and their listings are terrible. They're being outsold by competitors. The ranges are all over the place instead of being together, things like that. So we give their account an overhaul to get sales going. The A in our team model is for account management, and that's the ongoing tasks that are required from running the account on their behalf. So day-to-day stuff like replying to buyer messages, which actually isn't as much work as it sounds. So we manage over 700 products and we must get about 2 messages a day. And the other obvious one is keeping an eye on stock and letting the brand know when they need to ship more into Amazon. And the M is obviously for make money. So how do we get paid and when and how much? So we're going to look at each of these in turn. Teaming up with a brand. So why would a business want to partner up with you? The main reason is because they want to get on Amazon. They see the potential, but they have absolutely no clue where to start. They have no time to learn, and more often than not, they don't want to learn. They're busy selling to their retail customers. The next reason is because it spreads the risk. So it's happened to a guy that we know recently, actually. So he used to sell to brick and mortar stores, but when they were forced to close, they couldn't pay for the stock that they'd already received because they were on payment terms. So they had the stock and they were due to pay 30 days later or 60 days later. But obviously with the coronavirus and them having to close, they couldn't actually pay. So they're not going to now recoup those debts. So selling on Amazon is just a way of spreading the risk for them. And there is absolutely no risk to them selling on Amazon at all. And it's a massive opportunity for you to actually help them. So you're providing a service, you might even be able to save their business. And obviously you're going to reap benefits as well from that. So how to find brands. The first way you find brands is from going to trade fairs. So you can Google trade fairs in the UK. There are some really big ones, some smaller, some that are industry specific, like wedding fairs or baby shows, home and garden shows. So you just have a walk around, chat to businesses on the stands. You don't always get to speak to the right person, but often you can easily get the contact details of the right person, or you can leave them some information to contact you. We always have a really good chat, and we find that you can get the concept across to people better when you speak with them in person. It works really well. We then follow up afterwards via email or a phone call. It might not happen right away either. Sometimes you won't hear from them for a couple of months, but then they'll get in touch with you further down the line. We've secured quite a lot of partnerships at fairs in this way. We've had to actually turn a lot of them down because in the end it didn't turn out that it was worth it for us. Industry conferences, it's a little bit different to a trade show in that they're not exhibiting to sell, but rather it's somewhere to learn about an industry, to listen to keynotes, join in seminars and network. They're usually industry specific as well, so you need to have a niche in mind. Trade press, you can sign up to receive trade publications. Again, they're generally industry specific, but you can often get great contacts from there. networking events, anywhere where there are businesses selling physical products as a potential partnership. Manufacturer databases. You can actually sign up to these on the internet and pay for a list of different manufacturers online. You can then do a little bit of research on the company to see if it's a good fit and contact them. And scouring Amazon. So you can actually have a look at random pages on Amazon, see if you can find a company whose listings are really poor and that have got like quite a few sellers on there, and then you can find out the brand's contact information and get in touch. So there are 4 different types of brand that we target. The first is those who are not, their products aren't available for sale on Amazon whatsoever. The second is their products are available for sale on Amazon, but they're being sold by resellers who purchase from them wholesale, so they're not selling on Amazon themselves. The third is that they sell their products directly to Amazon. So again, they're not selling on Amazon themselves, but they're selling to Amazon and Amazon are selling their products. And the fourth is that they do sell on Amazon themselves, but they're just doing a really terrible job of it. So you will need to do a little bit of research before you contact them. So there's a few things that we check. First, you need to check that their listings are poor to begin with. So it's things like maybe they're only using one photo, things like that. Maybe they're not using all the bullet points. They're not packing their listing out with keywords. And this tells us that we'd be able to make a big difference to their sales if we did a makeover on their listings. Next thing you need to check is that even though the listing is poor, that they're still making okay sales. So this shows us that even though their listings are not selling the product as well as the listings could do, people are still buying them, because the last thing you want is to take on an account full of products and you do a makeover and put a little bit of work into it and then people still don't buy because maybe it's not a popular item, for example. So you need to check that they are still making sales. The next thing is to check that their products are quality items, because otherwise you'll do a lot of work and be hit with customer returns and not make any money whatsoever. And you get found out pretty quickly on Amazon if you're selling poor quality products because of the reviews. And the next is to check that they have a decent range of products. You don't want to take on an account, take on a brand that only sells one product. There's not going to be much reward in that. So how to convince them? There are different selling points depending on how their business is set up and how they're selling on Amazon, whether they're doing it themselves or Amazon are doing it or resellers are doing it. All of those come with their own problems, and this is a solution to all of those problems. So this is how you convince them. Firstly, tell them about Amazon's growth to convince them that that's where they should be selling. And if they're already on Amazon, tell them that this is why they need to be doing it properly. Tell them about Amazon's FBA program. So FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So this is when the brand would send a lump sum, like a massive amount of stock, into an Amazon warehouse. And when a customer orders from Amazon, Amazon will then pick, pack and ship the order out on the brand's behalf without them having to do anything. Because a lot of these brands have never sold B2C before to the customers. Their business is probably not logistically set up to do this. So you have to reassure them that it's easier than they think. Tell them that it's going to be fewer shipments for them, because rather than sending out 10 or 20 units here and there to resellers, it's one large shipment of about 3 months worth of stock in one go instead. So it's actually less work for them to do one big shipment instead of hundreds of smaller ones. And added to that, they're going to make more money because they're going to be able to sell at retail price instead of trade. So in effect, it's less hassle and more profit for them. And that's all businesses want to hear. Now, I know there will be some of you thinking, I'm a bit nervous about speaking to brands and how do I get them to take me seriously and how can I appear to look like I know what I'm talking about? So that's why I've put together this pack for you. So this pack contains the exact scripts that I use to get businesses on board. There are different scripts for different types of businesses, so you can guarantee that there's one that will be suitable to use with your potential partner brand. These scripts are what have won us business from dozens of partners over the past few years. Obviously, we haven't accepted them all, but it does win us a lot of business. They've been tested, they've been honed, they've been brought up to date as well. I've put the latest sort of Amazon stats in there and news of coronavirus. And there's one for every possible type of business. And you can literally plug and play these templates and fire them off to as many potential brand partners as you like. Absolutely priceless for getting your partnership business off the ground. So remember in the beginning when I said I was going to do something special for you guys? Well, if you stick around until 9 o'clock, I'll let you know how you can get your hands on this absolutely free. Okay. So first of all, you've got to work out if the model is going to be beneficial for both parties. So the business model doesn't work for everyone. Sometimes there just isn't enough margin in it for them to be able to pay your commission. So you need to do some calculations, and this requires some information from the brand. You basically need to work backwards from their target selling price and go from there. You need to make sure that what they end up with after paying for your commission is at least the same as what they end up with when they sell at trade price to resellers, hopefully more. So we have this calculation built into a spreadsheet, but you can just sort of do this. It's like back of the beer map type stuff to see if it works. Then you need to decide on your commission. So when you do this calculation that we just talked about, you can actually see what commission works. So it might be 15%, it might be 10%, but that doesn't mean that that 10% is your margin. It's not a profit margin, because don't forget, any commission that you make is actually 100% profit for you. So when we first contact a brand, we tell them that our commission is 15% straight out the gate. Then we work out the calculations and see if 15 does actually work. If it does, great. If not, then we'll lower our commission, but we never go below 10%. So for example, with one of our largest accounts, we started off on 15% commission, but then we agreed to lower it as they allowed us to list more and more of their products from their catalogue. So that happened this year. But although our commission went down, the amount we made actually went up because of all the additional products. So the commission, as well, I need to point out, is based on the selling price. It's not based on profit, because we don't know their profit. I mean, on some items, they might not even make a profit. So we don't base our commission on their profit. It's based on the selling price, on the revenue. The next thing you need to do is draw up a contract between you both. This protects you, and it shows them that you're a legitimate setup and that they can trust you. And you can do this before or after doing a trial period with them. And that brings us on to the E of our team model, which is enhance their offer. So let's look at what we mean by that. So often by taking on someone else's account, there's a bit of a mess to sort out sometimes. It's easy when you know how, but it's impossible when you don't. And these guys just have no clue. So it can be a bit of a pain to sort out the mess that's been left behind by resellers on the listings as well. So you have to know how to fix the listings on there. So if you've ever used Amazon as a seller, you'll know how hard it is to change something in your listing. So if you want to give a product a new title, you can change it all you want in your seller account, but then when you view the page as a buyer on Amazon, it doesn't seem to have worked. And that's even worse when there are resellers on the account, but there are ways and means of doing this. Now, if they haven't got an account, you can offer to set them up with one. But to be honest, the brands will often just do this themselves. So you might not need to set them up with one. If they already have an account, you'll need to send them instructions on how to add you as a user to their account. So this is another way of enhancing their offer, is that Amazon gives scores based on account health. So if they've already got an account, you can have a look at their account metrics and work on getting them up to scratch. So what that is that Amazon give them a score based on how well the account has been run. If it's a good score, all of their products will get a little ranking boost. So what that means is that Amazon will show their product higher up in search results when a customer searches for something. So you need to work on getting the score up. And it involves things like making sure you reply to customers within 24 hours if they ask a question, keeping on top of inventory, making sure that you're restocking fast-moving items really quickly, try not to run out of stock on those, and making sure that you're not overstocking slow-moving items as well, amongst other things. So ultimately, the better an account is run, the more Amazon trusts you as a seller, and the higher up in the ranks they'll show your products, and they'll show them higher up in search results. That means that more people are going to see them, which obviously will lead to more sales and more commission for you. Brand registry. So brand registry is a program that brands can enter to open up more marketing opportunities on the platform, and it also offers protection against counterfeits by registering the brand's trademark with Amazon. And it gives you access to A+ content, product video in America, sponsored brand ads, and brand analytics. They're all marketing tools that can be used. Now, not a lot of sellers have access to this. You have to actually be the brand owner to enroll in the brand registry program. And the good thing about this is that, for private label and arbitrage, it's difficult for private label rather, it's difficult to get brand registry well, you can't get it until you've got a trademark. So applying for a trademark can take a couple of months. But more often than not, the brand you're working with will already have a trademark, so you can apply for this straight away and get access to all those other things that a lot of other sellers don't have access to. So brand registry also gives you access to this storefront. This is like a mini website on Amazon where you can showcase the brand. Optimization. So in order to show up in search results, a product has to contain the words that are used in that search when the customer types in a search into the Amazon search bar. So we call those keywords. So you need to do keyword research and make sure that you're using all of those words in the writing in the product description. Chances are that this has never been done, which means they're not showing up in searches. When they are, they're nowhere near page 1, so nobody's seeing them and buying them. So even that first step can all of a sudden boost the ranking and start making more sales. Increase reviews. The more reviews on a product page, the higher the star rating, the more likely people are to buy. It's so important to get reviews up, and brands just don't even consider it. So there are ways that you can do that, like sending out follow-up emails amongst other things. Merging separate listings. So say you had a range of products and they were all identical apart from the colour, so you've got all different colours. Now, a lot of brands will have all different listings for all the different colours. So you can actually bring those together. You merge them into one listing so that when a customer goes on there, they see a choice and you're not losing them to other competitors. And it also means that if one of those gets a review, it's shared across all of them. Oops. Okay, so there are loads more ways that you can turn things around for them, but each one of these that you implement will lead to more sales. So how do you expand into other marketplaces? So you can sell into Europe and use UK stock. So Amazon have a program called the European Fulfillment Network. Sounds scary and complicated, but it's literally you just tick a box within Seller Central and then your products are available for sale across Europe. So if a customer in another country places an order, Amazon ship it out to them from your UK stock. And there's no extra work for you. Of course, the brand don't need to know that. They think you're working really hard to do that. And sell further afield. So you can also tell them that you can get them selling in America by the same means, or Australia, or Japan, or Mexico, or Canada, or Turkey, or India, because what I'm teaching you here, you can use the exact same principles. The brand just needs to send stock into a warehouse in those countries instead of sending it to a warehouse in the UK. And a top tip is to make sure that your listings are written in the local language of the marketplace that you're selling in. So how can you increase their product offering? So the chances are that they'll only have some of their products listed on Amazon. So you can add the rest of their catalogue, which is good because then you'll be the only seller of the new ones on the platform and you don't have to share the sales with other sellers. Now, this can be a mammoth task. If they've got over 1,000 products, you need to have systems in place to speed up this process. And if you think about outsourcing that bit, that's great. You can if you want to, and we do outsource a lot of the copywriting, but imagine how expensive that's going to become if you're trying to get the copy written for 700 different products. So there is a much more efficient method that you can use for setting this up so that it doesn't cost so much and negate all of your profit. So now we're on to the A in our team model. So this is for account management. So this is the actual, like, you've optimized everything as much as you can. So what do you do after that? What's the day-to-day running of an account look like? So the main thing is PPC. Now, PPC is easy to manage if you've only got 1 or 2 products, but it becomes really difficult when you've got, say, 700 plus products. When you're advertising all of those, you've got multiple campaigns running for each product. You're breaking each profitable keyword out into its own campaign, and it becomes a lot to deal with. So when you're dealing with that many across different accounts, if you didn't have systems in place, this would take over your life. You'd probably spend all day, every day looking after PPC. Fortunately, there are tools that you can use to manage ads in bulk and automate them. And since implementing these systems, the amount of money that we're spending on ads, or well, not us, but the brands are spending on ads, has come down and the sales have gone up. So the way you run ads is actually completely different to how you do it when you're selling by any other means like private label or arbitrage or anything. You can outsource. So this is something now that is completely automated for us. So I probably spend less than an hour a week looking at my ads. But the brand doesn't need to know that. Again, they'd probably be a bit annoyed if they knew that. Although they're kind of stuck now, because if they did let us go, then the PPC would stop and they wouldn't know what to do, and the sales would tank, so they're kind of stuck with us. And the main task is to ensure that you're not spending too much of their money on ads, because obviously they're not going to be happy. So they'll usually give you a budget. You just need to make sure that you're using that budget wisely and you are making sales. Customer surveys. Now, what's important to note here is that Amazon actually do a lot on your behalf. So more often than not, if a customer has an issue with an order, it's actually Amazon that they'll contact and not you. So for over 700 products that we sell, as I said before, we get just a couple of messages per day. Answer messages relating to product specifics. So the messages that we get are usually not to do with the orders, they're more to do with the product itself, like, oh, how big is it? Will it fit in this? Blah, blah, blah. But you need to advise your brand when you're taking care of the customers, because this is what they'll worry about, because they're not set up to deal with it. So you don't need to go into detail. You don't need to tell them that, oh, I only get 2 messages a day, but you just let them know that you're handling the customer service. And obviously, as I said before, to keep the account in good health, you'll need to respond to any messages within 24 hours. You could hire a virtual assistant to do these day-to-day tasks for you. We don't bother, to be honest, because we get so few messages, it only takes up a few minutes of our day. Inventory planning. Don't overorder slow-moving stock. Sounds obvious, but if you overorder slow-moving items, Amazon don't like it, even though they make more money from storage fees. So they like to have efficient warehouses, and if your stock is taking up room that they could give to faster moving items, yeah, they don't like that. They actually penalise you, and it could move the products down in the ranks, leading to a dip in sales. And equally, don't under order fast moving stock. If you keep running out of stock, you're going to get penalised for that as well. Your job is to tell the brand when to ship in more stock. So this is something that you need to keep your eye on, and tell the brand you're working with when to ship in a new batch of which product and when and how much. Don't rely on Amazon's built-in stock predictions. So Amazon will make stock predictions and tell you how many of each item to send in, but we've always found these to be wildly unreliable. So we've devised our own formula, which we've built into a spreadsheet to automate this, and it tells us how many we need of each item. Again, keeping your eye on stock levels of 700 products is quite a task, so you need processes for that too, so it all runs smoothly. So streamline the processes as much as you can by using tools to help to automate some of the daily tasks. So we use certain tools to help streamline everything and make the entire thing slick, so we don't have to spend much time on it. Even things like storing photos to upload as images and files for easy access. So we have procedures for all of that as well. Just helps to streamline things. So we use like Google Drive for that. And you can offer a link to other online platforms like eBay or Shopify if they've got their own store. So there is a tool available that will pull all of the information from Amazon and put it onto eBay for you, so you don't have to copy and paste everything from Amazon to eBay. And once a customer purchases from eBay, you don't need to do anything. eBay actually sends a message to Amazon to say that there's been an order, and Amazon will ship the item out to your eBay customer. So it's completely hands-off, an automated system. And it's not against Amazon's policies or anything. Amazon are completely fine with it. They actually offer it as a service to fulfill orders from other platforms. And of course, you can outsource the entire running of an account. So we've offloaded some of our brand partners' accounts to be, we've sort of got account managers in, if you like. So they're managed by other people, and we split the commission. So it's one of the reasons that I've come down to Peterborough to teach people Amazon, and why I've remained in the community for as long as I have is for the networking. So it's purely selfish. I know that I can train people up on how to use Amazon, and then I can ask them if they want to work together. And as I said, there are a couple of people that I've met through teaching Amazon at Progressive that I'm now working with. So there's always that. So let's look at how you actually make money by doing this, the bit that we're all really interested in. How to get paid. So Amazon pay the funds into the bank account of your brand partner every 2 weeks. And in order to work out your not work out your commission, but rather prove your commission to the brand owner, there are a couple of reports that you need to download from Seller Central and email to them. And if they're a decent sized setup, you'll be emailing them to their accountant. So they are reports that show the sales for the last 2 weeks, the advertising, and the stock levels. And then you'll need to generate an invoice. So we use a piece of software called FreshBooks for this, because we keep track of the business as a whole in there. But you don't need to do that. You could just create one in Word or Excel. So I'm going to show you some screenshots of our sales just to show you the potential, and this is of one partnership. All these graphs will look slightly different because some have been taken on desktops, some on mobile. So this one is showing 12 months worth of sales, 1.16 million. So that equates to, because we're on 10% with this brand, that equates to 116,000 in commission over the year. So as I said, that's just one partner. We haven't fully optimized all of the listings. We've not added every product that they do onto Amazon yet. We've not expanded into America. That was something that was due to happen right now, actually, but obviously it's been put on hold because of coronavirus. And we only added products to the European marketplaces last year too, and they're not fully optimized. We're not running any ads on them. So with this one brand, there's still massive potential for growth. We're only at the beginning, really. So this is just one brand, and they're not even a big brand either. And we started collaborating on private labeling products with them as well. So we found a niche in the market that fits in with their other products. So if you build a really good relationship with your partner brands, more and more opportunities will open up for you. So that was 12 months worth of sales. This is 30-day sales. So this was over the Christmas period just gone, but we're almost matching that again right now due to what's happening. So we made almost 25,000 in commission just in December. It was actually more than that because this was just the UK sales. And again, this is just one of our partners. This is 7-day sales. So almost 7,000 in a week for not doing very much at all. And this is 1-day sales. Now, our biggest sales day ever, I think, was just over £13,000 sales in a day. That was over the Christmas period just gone. But I chose to show you this one as this one's more recent. So it was actually my birthday. So this was a nice birthday present, 29th of March. So this one looks different again because it's a screenshot of my seller account on desktop. But we did over 8,000 in sales in the UK alone that day. So this was just a few days after we'd gone into lockdown. So that is why you need to get on this now. And this one, as you can see by the flag at the top, this is Italy sales. So this is over the past 12 months. And the interesting thing about this is that we see Italy as a complete bonus. So all we did was tick a box in our seller account to say that the products should be listed in Italy on the Italian platform. So there's no shipping stock there, no extra work at all, because Amazon usually UK stock and they ship it out to Italy if someone buys on the Italian platform. So, and we only started to optimize the listings and do any ads in the latter half of last year. So basically that 6,000 commission was a complete bonus. And our Germany sales are about the same as this, again, complete bonus. So once we've optimized all of these listings, had them translated and started some ads on them, imagine what the sales figures for these countries are going to look like at the end of this year. This was quite literally money for nothing, and it's an easy way to expand. So how to scale? I've already mentioned a few ways to expand your business, and then you can get someone else to run it for you. But you can make use of Amazon's EFN program, so that's a European fulfillment network, ticking a box to say that the product should be available for sale in the other marketplaces. You can expand into other marketplaces outside of Europe. So There's nothing stopping you from getting your brand on the American platform or Australia, for example. You can link to eBay to try and scale up and get more sales that way. You can add more brands to your portfolio. As I said, you can bring on account managers and get someone else to run them for you. And you can work with larger brands. So you might want to start off with a smaller brand to begin with while you're finding your feet, and then work your way up. And you can go overseas. There's nothing stopping you sat home in the UK from finding a brand in America and getting them onto American Amazon in America. And you can remove other sellers as well. So we actually tell our brand partners that the other sellers are damaging their account, which they are, because they drive down prices and cheapen the brand and they ruin the listings. So we use this as an argument to our brand partners and say, look, you need to stop selling wholesale to those other sellers. So we kind of get an exclusivity deal, and that's another way that you can scale up. So I've shown you one of our largest accounts, but they're not even a huge brand. So if I mention their name to them, the majority of you wouldn't have heard of them. So this is what, I mean, if this is what we can achieve with a small to medium-sized brand, imagine what you could achieve if you did get a big name brand on board. So as I said, I know of one other person using this method, and he has a partnership with Braun. So I met him at some training we did at Amazon HQ in London at the beginning of this year. You know, Braun, they do shavers, electric toothbrushes, that sort of thing. There is nothing stopping you from going after big name brands like that. And if you look up Braun's storefront on Amazon, you'll see these high value items. Imagine the commission on those, and we can see their sales too and see exactly how much they're making, and it's astronomical. The potential is endless because you're not limited by cash flow. So with other businesses, cash flow is always a bit of an issue. So with private label, for example, you might have dozens of ideas for products, but you can't go ahead with them all because you need money for stock. And there's absolutely no waiting in this game. You contact as many brands as you like. Money is not a limiting factor. The faster you learn, the faster you earn. So by now, I hope I've shown you just how big this opportunity is. So if you spend your time now learning this system, this could be huge for you. No one's born with these skills, but you can learn them if you're prepared to do what it takes. And that is why I have to tell you about this amazing opportunity, the No Money Down e-commerce masterclass that I've put together for you. It's brand new. The content in this course has never been seen before. It's an online course that takes you from complete beginner to creating a fully systemized and automated e-commerce business, even if you've never had any experience of selling online. It walks you step by step through the 4-step team model using live demonstrations. So our seller account is going to be an open book. Why this is the best business model. You can sell on Amazon with guaranteed profit and zero investment. There is no stock needed. The rinse and repeat system for making money on Amazon over and over again without having to find your own products. Accumulate a huge portfolio of products in an instant. Get started immediately. It's infinitely scalable, completely passive. You can work from anywhere. All you need is Wi-Fi. There are no staff, no overheads, no responsibility. Even if you've never sold on Amazon before, we will teach you how to find in seconds a list of brands from Amazon that will be desperate for the opportunity to work with you. Because if you don't know what you're doing when you're choosing brands to work with, you may end up taking on an account, doing some work and not reaping any rewards because the items that they sell are either not good sellers or not good quality or nobody is searching for them. So you need to know exactly what you're looking for in a brand that you want to work with. And I can show you exactly how to compile a list of brands within seconds. We get the information from Amazon and we can filter that information so that we can find those golden nuggets, those brands that are most desperate for our help. How to set up or overhaul an existing account to kickstart a rush of sales. How to manage a massive amount of products easily when it comes to listing, running PPC, that's ads, and replenishing stock. Systems and processes refined over the last 4 years to make your business run like a well-oiled machine. How to automate, outsource, and scale your business quickly and easily to give you more free time. And the value of this course is $1995 plus VAT. But stick with me, guys, because the offer gets even better. So this is a link to register for the course. So make a note of this now, bit.ly/NMD Ecom. And when you're ready to sign up, you've got the link there, but it gets better, so hear me out. So get this, this is a live event. So you're going to come down to Peterborough with myself and Sean. It's an intensive 2 days. We'll sit with you. We'll work on your computer with you to get you past any sticking points. It's fully immersive. You can ask live questions and we can get to know each other personally. We obviously can't give any dates yet. It's just as soon as we're able to. 2-day live training experience with us in the room at your beck and call. Make the most of us while you have us. By then, you'll have done the online course and you can come prepared, armed with questions for us. So if you sign up today, this will be included. And you'll get this, a plug and play template containing the exact formula that we devised for predicting stock requirements to help brands manage their Amazon inventory, because they're going to want to know predictions for Q4. So that's quarter 4, the last quarter of the year, October, November, December. They'll want to know your predictions for stock in June, so they can order from their suppliers or have them made overseas. How do you predict stock levels when you've no data to go on, or if it's your first quarter 4? You don't want to overstock and be left with surplus in the warehouse, because this harms your brand's cash flow, as well as having to pay storage fees to Amazon. And you don't want to underorder, because you're going to be leaving money on the table if you run out of stock at the beginning of December. So getting this right is critical, and you'll have access to the exact formula that we've devised after 4 years selling hundreds of products across multiple different accounts. Keep your brands happy, don't leave money on the table, maximize sales and maximize profits. And you'll get this, our bulletproof launch formula, a step-by-step guide to launching a product to catapult it to prime position in the search results, and how to relaunch a dead or stagnant product to boost the sales again. This is essential for proving to your brand partner that you can help them. Even more important if you're doing a trial run, to prove to them that this works. So you'll get this if you sign up right now. And you'll get this, guide on the exact steps that I take to make sure no stone is unturned in finding new profitable keyword opportunities. This alone can catapult products that have been dead in the water to start making sales as soon as it's implemented, and is a key component in the overhaul of an account. This can be used as a guide as well for a VA if you're outsourcing, because it is step by step. But that's not all. You'll also get this, a checklist of the exact tools that we use to run our business and how we use them. You could research this for years. You could try different tools yourself, wasting time and money, or you could use our knowledge and expertise that direct you straight to the tools that matter. They're all rated in order of importance for running your business. These are all the tools that have allowed us to organize, streamline, and automate our business so that it can run without our immediate input. It's priceless for creating a truly passive way of selling on Amazon. Free up your time so you can work on the business and not in it. So you're getting the full brand new, never before seen online course, the 2-day live event valued at $1995, the stock prediction formula valued at $497, the bulletproof launch formula $497, keyword research blueprints $497, tools checklist to run a smart business, total value $5978 plus that. Now, we've never sold these before. They are brand new, so the only way we can put value on these is by how much time they will save you and how much money they will make you. If these were sold as standalone products, this is how much they would be, but they're brand new. You can't even buy them. And because it's launch night and you are getting them included for free. So because this is the first time that we're offering this course, it's brand new, and you are going to be the first guys to learn of this strategy. And because we really love your comments and to get feedback on it, we're not going to be asking you to pay $1995 today. Because it's the first one, for tonight only, we're offering you the chance to change your life with this massive opportunity for just $1395 plus VAT. So you're getting the full course, the 2-day live event, stock prediction formula, bulletproof launch formula, keyword research blueprints, a checklist of tools to create a fully automated passive business, all for 1395 plus VAT. Here's your link to register. Are you going to be one of those who prospers during lockdown? If you're going to learn a new skill, let it be this one and make some money while you're doing it. Or are you going to sit on your hands and look back and regret not taking the opportunity? Register now. bit.ly/NMD-Ecom. That's bit.ly/N for no, M for money, D for down, Ecom, E-C-O-M. The time has never been better. Brands will be snapping your hands off. They're desperate to get online and onto Amazon, but they don't know how, and they don't have the time to learn. Their businesses are dying. Are you going to help them out and benefit yourself in the process? bit.ly/NMD-Ecom. So who's in, guys? Who am I going to be meeting at the 2-day live event? But wait, there is more. So remember the wholesale and drop shipping course that I put together that has generated more than 11,000 in sales on day 7, so just in one day, a step-by-step guide on how to create an automated, profitable drop shipping business and how to do wholesaling on a grand scale and finding those highly profitable niche products. Well, if you sign up for the No Money Down e-commerce masterclass right now, the first 30 people to sign up will also get access to this course. So it's 2 courses for the price of 1. There's been a huge amount of interest tonight in this webinar. And we have never offered this course before, obviously, and we will not be offering it at this price again with all of these bonuses. So you're getting the full, brand new, never been seen before online course, the 2-day live event, the stock prediction formula, the bulletproof launch formula, the keyword research blueprints, the checklist of tools, and the dropship and wholesale secrets unlocked course. Total value 6,975 plus VAT. And you're getting it all for 1395 plus VAT. So here is your link to register, bit.ly/NMD-Ecom. There is an e-commerce boom happening right now. Brands who usually sell to brick and mortar stores are dying and they are desperate to get online. They will bite your hand off for this opportunity right now. It will never be easier to get brands on board than it is now. All the key elements have come together at once. Let something good come out of these challenging times. Be one of the only people that actually prospers during this time. bit.ly/NMD-Ecom. But I'm going to do one more thing for you. So I know that you're going to need our help and guidance in starting up a new business, and I want to offer you my support. So I'm going to personally hold your hand and mentor you for the first 6 months of your journey. I'm going to hold a monthly online mentoring session so I can be there to personally guide you, catapult your business and scale it fast. I'll be there to hold you accountable and give you a kick up the bum when you need it. We all know the easiest person you can lie to is yourself. You say you do something and then you put it off. I won't let that happen. Even if you do your homework the night before our meeting, you've done it. And if we didn't have that session planned, you wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have gotten around to it. And that's the importance of having these sessions. At Progressive, we have always offered our monthly mentoring package for our other e-commerce course at 4450 plus VAT. But tonight, because it's a special night and it's the launch of my first ever course, and this is the first ever webinar I've ever done. So for the first 20 people, I'm including the monthly mentor program for free. For free. Now, this is just for the first 20 people who sign up tonight. The first 20, guys. Can't do it for everyone as much as I'd love to. So you'll also get this if you sign up now and you are in the first 20. So here's your link. Who's in, guys? bit.ly/NMD-Ecom. So some of you might be thinking, what if I can't find any products? You don't need to. Use products and brands that already exist. You're just optimizing their marketing for more sales. What if I don't have any money? You don't need to buy any stock, so no capital is needed. Start making money straight away. The more they sell, the more you make. What if I don't have time to run a new business? This business can be managed in just a few hours a week or less if you've got a virtual assistant. Our largest account is run alongside a full-time job. What if I'm not a techie? You don't need to be. We will take you step by step through the entire process, and we'll include demonstrations using our live account. Our seller account is going to be an open book. What if I'm not good with people? Neither am I. Everything in this business is communicated via email. You never have to come face to face with your brand's representative, not unless you want to. Aren't there too many Amazon sellers already? No. Amazon is growing. It's different to private label or arbitrage. The brands that you're working with, they're already known brands. They've already got an existing brand and an existing loyal customer base that are already searching for them on Amazon, so it doesn't matter about the competition. What if I've already purchased the private label and arbitrage course, ECCM? That's great. This course is absolutely different, and there is no overlap between them. They actually really complement each other well. So you could set up a business, an ecom business, where you're doing a little bit of private label, a little bit of arbitrage, a little bit of drop shipping, a little bit of wholesaling, and you're also managing accounts and doing brand partnerships. And listen, 1395 plus VAT is not a huge amount for something that could change your life. You're looking for something that could make you rich with no money to invest, then this is it. This is your chance, and it's never going to get easier than it is right now. Now is the time to do it. Don't sit and think about it and waste time when you could be making money at this in a week or two. I invested far more than 1395 plus VAT in my education to get an average job. This is a small price to pay to open you up to a new world of opportunity. So let's have a recap on what you get. The online video training course that takes you from novice to pro with live demos. My seller account is going to be an open book, valued at 1995 plus VAT. The 2-day live, fully immersive event in Peterborough with myself and Sean, valued at 1995 plus VAT. The inventory prediction formula. Ensure that you never under or overstock again. Please your brand partners and maximise your profit, valued at 497. The bulletproof launch formula to catapult new and dead-in-the-water products to kickstart those sales, valued at 497 plus VAT. The keyword research blueprints to ensure your brand's products are at the top of the maximum number of searches so that they can increase revenue, valued at 497. The tools checklist to run a smart business, to release you from the business so you can work on it and not in it, valued at 497. And the wholesale and dropship secrets unlocked online course, never before seen content. Learn the system that's currently making us £8,000 profit per week, and we set it up within 2 weeks, valued at 997. And the monthly mentoring sessions with yours truly, so I can hold your hand and personally guide you through finding your first partnership and scaling your business, valued at 4450 plus VAT. The total for all of these on one-time only bonuses is 11,425 plus VAT, and you're getting all of that for just 1395 plus VAT. This offer expires at 1 AM, so you need to be quick. So here's your link again, bit.ly/NMD Ecom. If you don't do this now, you never will. You'll miss this opportunity and you'll look back on this in months to come and you will kick yourself. It will never be offered again at this price with all of these fantastic bonuses. I've really gone all out for you, providing you with all the tools to make this a roaring success. So don't sit on your hands and waste time. bit.ly/NMD Ecom. And the beauty of this model is that there's actually no downside to becoming VAT registered either. It's actually a bonus. You can do it right from the start and use it to claim back VAT on any tools that you use or any training, including this one. So bear in mind that I've sold nearly £3 million worth of products on Amazon. I've launched over 700 products in 4 years. I scaled my business from nothing to a 7-figure turnover business. And I know how to do that even faster and where to find the businesses to do this with. And I'm confident that I can do this for you and take you from an Amazon novice to being a professional Amazon partner for some big name brands. You can't even get a good holiday for 1395 plus VAT. And let's be honest, we're not going on holiday anytime soon. Use the money you would have spent on a holiday to learn these new skills and send yourself on 10 holidays next year once we get out of lockdown. So your link again, bit.ly/NMD Ecom. And if you're having trouble with the link or the payment page, then the team are on hand to take calls from anyone who's struggling to book on. So give them a call on 01733 898-550. If you've got any questions about Amazon, I'll get to those in a bit, guys. Bear with me. But right now, we're just trying to help those people who are struggling to get on. A few people saying the link's not working. That sometimes happens if there's quite a few people trying to access it at the same time. So do keep trying, refresh your page. If you're having any problems or you're not sure whether your payment went through, the team are there right now. So call if you're struggling. One of the most famous motivational speakers in recent history made his fortune by teaching and lecturing people on how to gain success. And this is one of his most famous quotes. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. And I am living, breathing proof of that. I paid a fortune to go to uni and I came out with a mediocre job. We never invest in ourselves. You may work for someone and all you're doing is working to make them rich. You work your ass off and all that's happening is you're getting the same wage while their pockets are getting fatter. Haven't you had enough of that? Now is the time to invest in yourself and work for yourself. All successful people, whether in sport or business, they all have a mentor, someone that they can learn from. Let me be your teacher. Learn from my mistakes and scale your business even faster than I have mine. There's never been a better time, and I don't know an easier way to make such a large amount of money in a short space of time. I spent thousands going to university to come out with a below average income. This investment in yourself is nowhere near the cost of a university education, but it will earn you multiples of a graduate salary. And I said that I would do something really special for you guys who stayed until the end. And so here is the free bonus that I promised you for taking part in tonight's webinar. So the scripts pack that will give you the templates that you need to convince any brand to work with you on Amazon. Go to this link to claim your free bonus. bit.ly/ecom scripts. bit.ly/ecom scripts to claim your free bonus. And remember, guys, all of these links are case sensitive, so you need to make sure that you're not using any capitals. It's all lowercase. bit.ly/ecom scripts to get your hands on that free bonus. Now, guys, this is your biggest chance to prosper and make some serious cash during these troubling times. This is not going to be offered again. We're only offering these bonuses as a launch offer. So the first 30 people are going to get 2 courses for the price of 1. I have no idea if there's still space in the top 20 or 30. All I can say is jump in now. You might make it. Once you've made payment, you will receive a notification, confirmation email either tonight or first thing in the morning. You'll also receive notification once they've identified which people made the payment first, and you'll receive this notification by email too. So if you don't receive notification, check your junk mail just in case. If you do have any questions about Amazon, save those till the end. I'm just making sure everyone who wants to get in can. If you are having trouble, remember to call the team. The number's on the screen there, 01733 898 550. If you want to find out if the payment options, I'm not sure, please contact the team. So you'll have to ring them up to discuss that with them, 01733 898 550. They're there, they're waiting to speak to you. So if you can't get through, keep on trying. They're probably busy calling a lot of people all at once. So this is your last time to get in on this, guys. The offer expires at 1 AM. So bit.ly/NMD Ecom. Okay, so we're gonna go through some questions, have a bit of a Q&A. So we've got some questions come through already. Paul says, taken massive action and paid for this already. Tom says, thank you very much, Kay, for the information. Now much appreciated, no problem. Caroline says, how long does the online course take to complete, please? It's roughly, I would say, about 16 hours. So it's divided into the 4 components of the team model, TEAM, and each one of those is about 4 hours each. John, I reside in Ireland. Can I also subscribe? How do I get the live training? John, I would suggest you speak to the team about that. So give them a call. Numbers on the screen, 01733 898 550. So that's.
I was going to answer some questions as well.
Did you see?
Yeah, here we go. What sort of profit margin can we expect? This is from Ross. Well, it's actually 100% profit. So because you're not buying anything, so you're invoicing for 100% profit. The commission that you get is 10% of the total sale of the product, but that's, again, it's 100% profit for you.
Amy's asked, do you have a payment plan option? Again, contact the team, not sure about that. 01733 898 550.
Somebody's asked, Dond, tell us what you're actually selling in what marketplace. Well, we're selling that many different types of products, from kitchenware to bags, games, even right through to bottle openers. So we're selling all sorts of things, mainly on Amazon, but also we also do the link to eBay as well. So we sell on Amazon and eBay.
Great webinar. Quick question. You mentioned running ads. Are these done through Google, Facebook, etc.? And generally, how much do you have to invest in ads, or can the brand you work with pay for this? We don't do any social media ads. We don't do any advertising off of Amazon whatsoever. And the brand generally pay for the ads as well, so you don't have to invest in that. With one of our brand partners, we do contribute 20% towards ads, but that's up to you whether you offer that or not.
Somebody asked, I can't see who it was. Somebody asked, oh, Kerry, what is PPC? Maybe you can answer that, Kerry.
Yeah, PPC just means Amazon ads. PPC stands for pay per click, so it's just the ads on the Amazon platform.
But in the course, it goes through that. It tells you exactly what it is and how to optimize it.
Could you just clarify whether the drop shipping model is in keeping with Amazon's T's and C's? Thought you weren't allowed to do this. That's actually a misconception. A lot of people think you're not. There is actually on Amazon's, you can Google it actually, the Amazon's drop shipping terms and conditions. As long as you're adhering to those, Amazon are absolutely fine with it. Yeah, no problem.
This is a good question from Stuart. Do you have an account for each client you are selling for? Well, we don't actually have any accounts. We do have our own account, but that's for different products.
Private label.
We work on their accounts. So when you get authorization, you use your business email address, and then you log into Amazon, Amazon Seller Central, and in the top you'll see all of the brands that you're working for. You just have a drop-down menu, and then you click on whichever brand you want to work on, and then your Seller Central opens up their account. So it's their account you're working on. So you can have as many accounts as you want to, which is different to private label, where you're only actually legally allowed to have one account.
Mm-hmm. Jackie has asked, Jacqueline, sorry, how much do you pay for tools each month? I actually worked this out the other day. And obviously you can 100% do this without paying for any tools. We spend £189 on, that's all the tools each month. And we earn that back in the morning. So
yeah, before we even wake up. But it's and that's only been built up as the brand's sales have grown as well. So we never started with that.
No, a lot of the tools that we use actually have a free version that's sufficient. Somebody has asked, Lewis has asked, what tools do you use? So, for example, we use Helium 10 quite a lot, and Helium 10 do have a part use for free. So they'll allow you a certain number of uses before you have to pay. So you can get away with just using that and not actually paying.
Lee's asked, why would an established brand feel I had sufficient credibility to partner with them, with you, if I had no track record of Amazon selling? Well, we've been through this, so we've done it before.
You have to get your first one.
You have to get your first one, but it's quite a simple process when you start talking to them. Don't forget, after you've learned everything on this course, you'll know way more than they'll know. It scares me sometimes how little these brands know about selling on Amazon. They may have listed a few products, but they really don't know anything. So they don't know how to optimize it. They really don't know how to sell. They're used to selling to retailers. Retailers do all the selling for them. So they're not used to it. So you could easily show that you know more than them. A little knowledge is a lot of knowledge if you don't know it.
Yeah. And also on that is that they don't know that you've no track record of selling on Amazon. So as soon as you start talking to them and you're using all this terminology that they're not familiar with, and you sound like an expert to them, forgot what I was saying then. Yeah, they don't know. You sound like a seasoned pro, so they'll just assume you have got other clients. And we never tell, when we're first talking to a new brand, we never tell them about our other clients anyway for confidentiality reasons. So you can always use that. Have we missed anything there? No, I think we've done all those.
Yeah,
ones.
I think we've done any more questions.
John, can I pay a deposit and the other on monthly instalment? I'm not sure, John. I would again suggest just contacting the team. You might need to ring them up, speak to them about that. So 01733898550. Just give them a call. They're waiting to take any calls.
Somebody's just said that they have trouble signing in on the link, but just remember, use lowercase, so not uppercase, because it's case sensitive. So when you put the link in, use lowercase.
Yeah. If you are struggling to get through, by the way, if you just put your name, number, and email in the comments, and the team can contact you, they'll call you back.
Ryan's asked, how is this course different from the other ecom course? Well, it's completely different. So it's a brand new way of selling on Amazon. So the other course, you concentrate on finding a product and marketing that product, buying it probably from China, and then selling that one single product on Amazon. And as Kay mentioned earlier, at a good rate, you'll be lucky to launch 6 products in a year. With this method, I've just launched within 1 week 60 products, and within 4 weeks that will probably be between 200 and 300 products. We manage well over 700 products on Amazon now. You can't do that private label; it's just impossible. So that's where the difference is. Also, it's no investment, so you don't have to invest any cash in this. It's everything's there. So even the stock doesn't. You don't have to wait 3 months for the stock to come from China. It's already sat in the warehouses of these manufacturers, and you're dealing mainly with UK manufacturers. It doesn't have to be the UK, but ours are all UK. We have spoken to some foreign manufacturers. We may do some more in the future, but it's much easier when you're talking to UK people. They speak your language and they understand what you're telling them.
Nick has said, signed up and paid. Can't wait to get started. Thank you, guys. Can't wait to get started working with you, Nick. Carmel, can I sell hand sanitizers on Amazon? You can't. As far as I know, you can't at the moment. It's gated. Amazon are worried about price gouging at the moment, and also anything that uses the word antibacterial in it all automatically becomes what we call hazmat. So it goes that it's a hazardous material, so you can't actually, Amazon won't allow that to be sold on their platform. You have to get ungated. The
side venture that we just launched, we got suspended because we used COVID-19 in our listing. So, and I think trying to sell hand sanitizer would probably even worse. In fact, I got contacted by a hand sanitizer manufacturer, not a UK one, so somebody from another country. And we thought about it for a second just to make a quick buck, but it's just not worth it. It's just too complicated, too hard to get ungated at the moment.
Yeah. Jane said, how quickly can you make money? As quickly as you can do the course and find a brand, you can get started straight away. We, as I said, with this new venture, we'd listed 60 products. Was it 60?
60, yeah.
Within a week. Yeah, so it's instant, really.
And as soon as you find a brand to work with and you list the products, you get paid in 2 weeks. So you get paid every 2 weeks. So your brand partner gets paid directly from Amazon. And as soon as you get that notification that they've been paid, you send an invoice, and then you get paid. You just get paid straight away.
Yeah, and that gives the brand a bit of security as well, because they're the ones receiving the payment from Amazon. It goes into their account, not yours. So they know you're not going to do a fast one with it. Rachel says, I work a full-time job and have kids. I'm a single mom. How can you be sure I'll have enough time to run this business as well? I mean, it does depend on the size of the brand that you're going for to begin with. So I would probably suggest starting off with a slightly smaller brand that hasn't got 1,000 products, maybe just like you did all that listing yourself, actually, didn't you, with those 60?
Yeah, I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
This is almost a hobby, a nice hobby that makes lots of money. So we did 60 in a week. It was quite easy. We have different methods for listing lots of products fast. And there's also different methods for streamlining the business. So you can start small. Not all of the brands that we work with have hundreds of products. Some of them we may have tens of products. So you can start small, and it's a lot more intimate with them brands as well. It's nice to work with.
Yeah, and for some brands, if they're a bit sort of umming and ahhing about taking you on, you can maybe suggest doing a trial run where you just take a selection first of all anyway, so you can do it in sort of a staged release, if you like, so that you do maybe 10 products, and then when they're happy and you show them that you're making more sales, they might offer them to give you 10 more. So it's a slightly slower process if you've not got enough time to do it all. Or you can just get someone to do it for you, outsource it.
Peter's asked, how long will it take to replace my current income? I want passive income and become financially free.
Depends what your income is.
Yeah, it depends what your income is. Yeah, and it depends on how many brands you get. So one brand could easily replace your income. What's the average income? 35,000?
No, it's lower. I think it's about 28.
Yeah, I mean, we made that in December. So 1 month's worth of sales, actually just for one brand in December. And that was just the UK. So it depends on your income. It depends on how fast you get started. But it's pretty easy to do, to replace your income.
We've just been notified that the lines are really, really busy at the moment if you're trying to get through to the team. So if you leave your details in the comments box now, we'll make sure that you get a call back. So just leave your name, your number and your email in there just to make sure that we've got something to contact you back with. So put that in the comments box now if you want a call back. Who are we up to? Ed, what if brands do not pay you? What can you do?
Well,
switch them off.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't actually worry about it too much because it's only 2 months worth of sales. So let's say they're paying you nicely. Sorry, 2 weeks. Let's say they're paying you nicely for months on end, and then they decide that they're not going to work with you, or something's happened to their business and they can't pay you. Well, you're only losing 2 months, 2 weeks worth of sales commission. So it's not the end of the world. If it becomes huge and that 2 months is a lot of money, you can always take. 2 weeks. You can always take them to court if you want to. We've never had to do that. We've never had a brand walk away from us. We've never had a brand not pay us either. They're actually grateful for what we do. They love it. One of our biggest brands, it's basically saved his business at the moment because he sells to retailers, which have all shut down. This is his only source of income. We've gone from being his probably number 4 biggest customer, because they class us as customers, to being his number 1, almost his only one. So what other questions have we got? Dom has asked, is Amazon the best way to make money fast, in capitals, during lockdown? Well, I mean, we've just launched a business within 2 weeks, and we've turned over £11,000 in 1 day. And that was over 3,000 profit in 1 day, within 2 weeks of starting from a telephone call. Nothing else. This guy just rang me up and said, can we do something? And then 2 weeks later, we're making £3,000 a day off that. So I think that's pretty fast for any business.
Brendan's asked, does the training include how to post an excellent listing on Amazon so that the customer gets the benefit of our service? Do we have to do this ourselves? Are we supposed to outsource this? Is this covered in the course? Yes, it's all covered in the course. I'll go into detail on that. But yes, you can, of course, outsource it if you wanted to. We use websites like Fiverr.com to find, but you can also use like People Per Hour. There's a few others, Upwork. Yeah, you can of course outsource it, but yes, it's all covered in.
We've also we've trained some people as well, so we've just told them what to do. We have a couple of account managers that manage accounts for us on our behalf, which they've never even sold anything on Amazon before. We just train them up, and they just manage the accounts for us. And you could easily do that. They were just some friends of ours, and they're doing that quite happily now.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment as well, with so many people being furloughed or being sat at home, not having much to do, if you know anybody and that wants to earn a bit of spare cash, if you wanted to pay them to write listings for you, just give them a call, tell them what to do, and get them on it.
It's such a big opportunity now, because any companies that I've spoken to since lockdown, they're kicking themselves, especially the ones that have never sold on Amazon or online before. The whole landscape's going to change in the future. More and more people are buying online. They're not going to change their habits. They're getting used to it now. And more manufacturers realise that they need to be part of that. They need to spread the risk. The high street's dying. Retailers are going out of business, and they need to continue with manufacturing their products. The demand's still there. They need to get them on Amazon and online. So they're absolutely desperate for professional people like us.
Oksana has put, "Hi guys, I've bought the course, but I'm really interested in mentorship. I know that the accountability is the only way to progress. Thank you in advance." Well, Oksana, I'm only doing the mentorship obviously for the first 20 people. So if you got in within the first 20 people, then you will have that. But going forward, I don't know if this is something that I will be offering. So obviously keep in touch with us, and if we do end up providing any mentorship, then obviously we will let you know about
Somebody's put busy phone line, so just again, just keep trying, or leave some details in the messages so that we can give you a call back later. Our team will give you a call back later.
Julie, how do you find brands to work with? The first few that we found were from trade fairs, just wandering around, chatting to people. What's it called?
Spring fair and autumn fair we went to.
I think there's a spring one where we got the first one from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a far easier way to actually do it, to find, and we didn't obviously know that at the time. In fact, I don't think the tool was available at the time. There is a far easier way to get a list of brands, and you can filter it as well, so you make sure that you know that they're the ones that are suffering the most. Then they're definitely going to need your help. And I obviously go into detail on all that in the course. Will, how long is your contract with the brand? If you spend the time and money to create listings, what is to stop them managing themselves?
Well, it depends on the contract that you agree with the brands. I like to have 2-year contracts. Mm-hmm. It keeps us safe. Now, yeah. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage the Amazon account. They don't know how to do the listings. Our brands have never actually asked us how we do it. So we've had emails and Skype meetings with them sometimes. They're not interested. They like to see the money coming in every 2 weeks, because even their large retail customers like TK Maxx or John Lewis, they have to wait months to get any money from them. But Amazon constantly pay them every single 2 weeks. So they're more than happy. So, I mean, they're probably more than happy to work without a contract. But the brands that we work with were actually wanted the contract so that we didn't leave them. So they were secure that we would carry on doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and if they train somebody up to do it as well, so they wanted to do that and get rid of us, they wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't know how to train them up, and then they couldn't guarantee that they'd do as a job as we do anyway.
Yeah, so, and I have a theory that if somebody knows what they're doing on Amazon, they won't go and work for £30,000 for a company managing their listings. they'll do what we do,
Yeah.
or they'll go off and find their own private label
they'll do private
products.
label.
They're not going to do it for a company for £30,000.
Are we up to
Here, David.
David? How will we get the knowledge if you need to do a 2-day course in Peterborough during lockdown? What content is available beforehand to get started? So, David, you'll receive, if you, I'm presuming you've signed up, you will get access to the online course, obviously during lockdown, so you can get started on that as soon as that goes live. So you'll be able to consume all of the content there. The live training, obviously, we'll just have to wait until lockdown is finished. We don't know when that's going to be, but obviously we'll be in touch and let you know as soon as we're able to do that.
Andy's asked, can you target local businesses to be the go-to person for Amazon sales? Absolutely. Yeah, it works for any business. It's probably easier if they're local. You could probably go down and build up a relationship if you wanted to. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea.
Virgil said, my current day job is very time heavy. I don't get time off. How fast and easy can an Amazon business be set up and mastered? I would say it's even more important for you to do it if that's the case.
Yeah, jobs are a waste of time. You need to be working for yourself.
You still work full time.
Yeah, but well, unless you enjoy it a lot. I still enjoy mine because I do a lot of traveling, but it's not for the money. How fast can it be set up? Yeah, well, we've already said it can be set up extremely fast. As soon as you get the go-ahead from your brand partnership and you get permission to go on their Amazon account, you're up and running. So as soon as you are on their Amazon account, that's when the clock starts ticking. That's when the commission starts. So 2 weeks after that date, you invoice them for whatever sales they've had during that 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, both of you. Inspirational and timely, Nikki Bear. Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending the time watching us. Sarah, I'm interested in getting into Amazon, but I'm scared to try. What should I do? There's nothing scary about this model because you're not investing any money. So it's probably the safest way to actually jump into Amazon is to try this. And if you're frightened on the brand front about contacting them and what have you, obviously I've got the scripts there for you, so you've got access to those. And you could just start off with quite a small brand if you're a bit concerned and sort of like build your confidence with smaller brand and work your way up. So I would suggest doing that. But this, if you want to get into Amazon, this is the probably the safest way to do it.
On the similar subject, Nakash, I have zero money. Can I really start an Amazon business? Well, absolutely, because you're not starting an Amazon business. You're managing an Amazon business for somebody else. So you don't invest anything. You're not buying any stock. You're not paying for anything. All you do is manage their business well and then get commission on what they sell or what you sell for them. So you can go from zero money to, well, if you do what we've just done, then you're earning £3,000 a day.
Vidal has asked, is now the right time to start an Amazon business? Absolutely, because at the moment, the conditions are just right for brands to jump in on this opportunity. They'll want to work with you because they're desperate to get online, desperate to get on Amazon. So it's actually never going to be easier to start this business model than it is right now.
And this business model, you can actually get started straight away. If you are doing other business models, for instance, private label or even arbitrage, the Amazon are not allowing you to send in stock at the moment because they're busy handling essential items. But when you partner with a brand, they're already there, and often they will send out stock for you as well, directly to the customers. So we've pivoted a bit. So recently, because we put in enough stock, so we put in 3 months worth of stock, but we sold it all in a month because everybody was buying online. So we've actually spoken to our brands and we've asked them to set up a direct ship system. So now We get the orders come through directly to the brands, and they ship them out. Again, we don't touch any stock, but still we manage the listings, and we still get paid our commission, and they're doing the work. And slowly by slowly, we're able to put more and more stock into Amazon. But now is the time. You should get on. Brands are absolutely desperate to sell online. Whenever I talk to them, they don't always mention Amazon. They always talk about online. They don't really realize how big Amazon is and how good Amazon is. This brand that we got going with within 2 weeks, they're astounded. They can't believe it. It's absolutely saved their business what we've done. So,
it's overwhelmed them a little bit, actually, hasn't it? Because they just weren't expecting that volume of sales so quickly.
Yeah.
Can I just correct you on one thing though? You can't not send any stock into Amazon at the moment, because just if you are private label or arbitrage, you are still able to send some things in at the moment. So you just need to check in your inventory to see what you're able to sell in and what you're not.
Yeah, we're able to send some items in.
Yeah, because some of ours aren't all. Well, they're not essential items, and we can still send some of them in, can't we?
Yeah, out of about 400, we've got 40 items we can send in.
We've done that one. Dimitar, will the course teach me everything I need to know about selling on Amazon? It doesn't cover private label and arbitrage, and it doesn't cover drop shipping and wholesale. You will get that bonus course if you were one of the first 30 that got in, but it does teach you everything that you need to know for this business model. Absolutely everything, from complete novice, complete beginner, never having sold on Amazon, to fully fledged, professional, fully automated business. Jacqueline said, of course, set up as a step-by-step format, making it less daunting to get started. Absolutely. It's all step-by-step. Absolutely. Walks you through the entire process. Betty, I'm not a techie person. Can I really sell on Amazon? Is the course for me if it's all techie stuff? You don't need to be a techie person at all. We've got, as I said before, our seller account is going to be a completely open book. So it's literally going to be me saying, now you click on this, now you click on this. So it literally will walk you through step by step. You don't need to be a techie person. If that's what you're worried about, don't worry about that.
We're not techie people. We're not big techie people.
Yeah, if you can work Facebook, you can work Amazon.
I can't work Facebook.
You just don't go on it. Stuart, is the commission you earn after all the brand's costs, like pay-per-click, is taken out?
Yes. So that's something that you have to arrange with the brand. So the commission is based on the total selling price. So that's the commission. So everything else is included in the costs. So you add up all the costs. For instance, your fulfillment by Amazon fees, your Amazon finder's fee, your VAT. That's already included in the selling price. Our commission is based on that whole selling price. So we don't take off the FBA, we don't take off the finder's fee, we don't take off the trade price and then we work on the profit. No, we work on the whole selling price.
Somebody, I don't know who's asked this, it's Will. How do you get past gatekeepers to get your pitch in front of the right people?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. You have to work your way around it. But we in the course it does help you with that. So it will tell you how. If you
go into a trade fair and you talk to people face to face, they're often really open and friendly, and they will chat to you and they'll give you the right information. And when you start sort of chatting to people and they get that you're not selling them something, because that's the first hurdle, is trying to make sure that they know you're not selling them something, then that's quite easy to get around. But obviously you can't go to trade fairs at the moment, so when you're sending emails out and things like that, that's all covered in those business onboarding scripts. You can get the information across to them, and I mean, some brands, yeah, you might not be able to get through to the right person, but if you're sending out loads, you know.
And don't forget, you don't have to have huge brands like Braun or any other brands, like massive ones. You don't.
Just to show you the potential.
Yeah, I'd never ever heard of them before we started working with them, and these are only people with maybe 30 or 40 people working for them. So you get to speak to the right person all the time, because they're often the people that are answering the phone, because that's what they do. So ideally, you speak to the sales manager or the marketing manager. But in these kind of small to medium enterprises, it's often the same person. I mean, we often just have come across the managing director, who also happens to be the sales manager,
who's also doing the shipping out.
Yeah, he's doing the shipping out at the moment
himself,
and that's a huge brand for us. In fact, that was one of the ones that was doing £8,000 in one day.
Oh, I was talking about.
Oh right, okay.
And also, you can often just get past the gatekeeper and find the right person if you go on their website, because all these brands will have a website. It's usually got a contact on there and says like meet our team, so you can find the right person. James, what can't I sell on Amazon? Well, the funny thing is that when you're selling as the brand, so you are the brand, you can sell almost anything. So, for example, like one of the brands that we work with, just checking. They sell kitchen knives, which are a restricted product on Amazon. But because they are the manufacturer and they are the brand owner, then you can get past that a lot quicker through Amazon, just by sending Amazon an email through the help thing. So you can get them gated a lot easier if they are the manufacturer and they can prove that.
Yeah, and you manage it as if you work for the manufacturer, so you are that company. So whenever I send emails to Amazon to say, oh well, you know, we've made these bladed products, I'll say it's we. You know, I am that brand. I become that brand. Even when I'm answering customer questions, I'll say that oh, we as blah blah blah. We were happy that you've ordered from us.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's it for questions at the moment. So I'm just going to give you a recap for those of you who have stayed on this long and why is this not working? Oh, it's crashed. Great. Oh, here we go. It has crashed a couple of times today, so I'm glad that didn't just happen. So this is what you're actually getting in the course. So obviously you're getting the online training. So it's broken down into 4 different modules, and they're split up into smaller bite-sized videos, so you can consume that at your own pace. You can do the work as you're going along if you like, and it's literally step by step and with live demonstrations using our seller account. Then there's the 2-day live training. So that's going to be myself and Sean down in Peterborough. Obviously, we don't know the dates yet because we don't know when we're going to be released back into the world. So we'll give you details of that as soon as we know when that will be. So that's fully immersive event in Peterborough. You can ask us questions. We'll be on hand. We can actually look at your laptop with you, we can go through the tools with you, work through all of that, and obviously by that point you will have all consumed the online training in its entirety, so you'll have a better idea of everything, so you'll come armed with a lot better questions, more detailed questions that you can ask us. You get the inventory prediction formula, so that's been devised and tweaked over the past few years, isn't it? That's mainly Sean's working. So it's a plug and play thing, so you can just put your numbers in there, and it helps to predict what stock and when you need to send into Amazon. You get the bulletproof launch formula. So this is like a step-by-step, and it's broken down into stuff that the brand can do if they want to, so you can actually give them advice if you've got that kind of relationship with them. So there's stuff in there about stuff you can do on social media platforms as well. I mean, we don't do that, but there's that in there, and using chatbots and things. So if you have a look at that once you get it, there's loads of different launch strategies that I've detailed fully in there that you can use to get your products ranking and get more sales. The keyword research blueprints, that's step-by-step guide. So if you decide that you want to outsource some things to a virtual assistant, you can actually use this as a manual for them. It literally is click here, click here, click here, this is what you should do on which tool. So they can work through that. The tools checklist to run a smart business. So I've literally detailed every single tool that we possibly use in our business. I've put them all in order of importance for you, so you know which ones you definitely need, which ones are a bit more optional, which are just nice to have. And the prices are all on there, the links are all on there to those. And obviously, if you were in the first 30, you'll get the wholesale and dropship secrets unlocked. That's also online, so you can consume that online in your own time. And that details the dropship model, which Sean went over with you before, where you're not actually sending any stock into Amazon. The manufacturer is sending the stock out, and you don't pay for any stock until a customer has purchased that from Amazon. And also, obviously, if you were in the first 20, you'll also get the monthly mentoring sessions with me. So we'll send out details of all that, and we'll let you know once we've seen which payments went through first, who were the first to pay. Then you'll get details of whether you were in the first 20 or the first 30 for that as well. So if there's no more questions, I would just say that obviously if you haven't booked on, if you're still thinking about it, I shall just put the link up one more time, and the phone number in case you were having any difficulty making payment. So the link to register, again, just to reiterate, this offer with all the bonuses, it does expire at 1 AM. So you need to get on it before then. So the link is bit.ly/NMD Ecom. And if you were having any trouble paying on the page, then just give the team a ring, 01733 898 550. And if you want to get a call back, don't forget to put your details in the comments box as well, with your name, your email and your phone number, and somebody will get back to you probably tomorrow morning. So I think that's everything. I can't see any more questions. So thanks so much, guys, for supporting me on my first webinar. Well done for those of you who stayed right till the very end. And I look forward to working with those who have purchased. So I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.